start with 2D plotting. For that purpose you have to import matplot lib.pyplot as plt. Why did we write as plt? I will explain this uh, after a short while. The next library which you should import is numpy. Import numpy as np. So matplotlib is a library which is useful for plotting purposes, whereas numpy is another library which helps us to perform numerical computations on matrices, arrays and vectors easily. You can find dot product, you can multiply matrices, you can add them very easily using this library. So before starting to plot, you have to go to preferences, select IPython console, go to graphics and change this option of backend to Qt5. So by default inline is selected, you have to change inline to Qt5 and press OK. Before plotting anything you have to create a figure. So plt.figure is the command which you will use. So run this program, and by running this program you can see that an empty figure is created over here with this name figure 3. So you can plot your graph anywhere in this empty space. Now say for example I want to plot 3 points on the graph paper, and those points are 1 1, 2 2 and similarly 3 3. So I have 3 points 1 1, 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2 and 3 comma 3, and I want to join all of them by straight line. So basically I want to plot this graph in the empty figure. 3 points, all of them joined by straight line. So how to do it? You will use the command plt.plot. Now along the x-axis the first value is 1. So first of all I will define all the values along the x-axis. The first value is 1, the second value is 2 and the third value is 3. So you will place square brackets. The first value of x-axis is 1, comma, the second value of x-axis is 2, comma, the third value of x-axis is 3, and that's all. Now I want to define the values along the y-axis. So the values along the y-axis are 1, 2 and 3. Note that corresponding to this one the value of y is 1, so I will write the value 1 first. Similarly the value corresponding to x is equal to 2 is 2, so I will write 2 at the second place, whereas the value corresponding to x is equal to 3 is 3, so I will write 3 as the last element of this collection. So these are the values of x-axis and these are the values of y-axis. So 1 के corresponding 1 होगा, 2 के corresponding 2 होगा, 3 के corresponding 3 होगा. And run this program. If you run this program you can see that a straight line is plotted in the empty figure 1. Previously it was 3, but since I ran this program again, so a new figure will be created and straight line will be plotted in it. And by the way, if you want to see these points you can see them if you place comma over here and write marker is equal to single quotation mark O. So those points will be displayed as circles. So O means display these points as circles. So run the program and you can see that the 3 points are also being displayed over here: 1 1, 2 2 and 3 3. So note one more thing, that at this position you can view the coordinates. So if I place the cursor over here, you can see that the current position of the mouse cursor is 1.002 and 0.99, which is roughly equal to 1 1. Similarly, you can verify that this point is 2 2. Just look over here. Similarly, you can verify that this point is 3 3. The value of y is 2, corresponding to x is equal to 3. The value of y is 3. So I want to print this graph. So how to do it? Very simple. Let me copy paste this, plot it over here, and let me block it out for the while. And so corresponding to this value 1, the value of y is 3, so I will write 3 over here. Corresponding to x is equal to 2, the value of y is 2. Corresponding to x is equal to 3, the value of y is 1. Corresponding to x is equal to 3, the value of y is 1. So corresponding to x is equal to 3, the value of y should be 1 over here. So run this program, and you can see that now this is the graph which I drew over here or plotted over here. Okay, so if you want, you can plot both of these lines in a single figure, single plot. So in a single plot, you can single figure, you can plot these two lines. How to do it? Simple. Just write two plot commands. प्लॉट कमांड्स को 2 दफ़ा लिखें और फिर जो प्रीवियस विंडो है उसको क्लोज करें, and then run the program, and you can see that both the graphs have been displayed in this plot of this figure. So currently there is only one plot in this figure. Okay, now let's see how to label the graph. So plot.x label, and I want to plot it as x-axis. So by doing so, what will happen? X-axis will be written below this number line. If you want, you can write anything, say integers. So what will happen? Integers will be written along the x-axis or below the x-axis. Similarly, if you want to label the y-axis, you can write plot.y label and write y-axis integers and run the program. Better to close the previous window, run the program again, and you can see that y-axis integers has been displayed over here. Now I want to give a proper title, so how to write title, plt.title, say a graph. So run the program, close the previous window, and you can see that a graph, this is the title of this graph, this is the y-axis label, this is the x-axis label, and these are the two plots or two curves within a single plot of this figure 2. Okay, if you want, you can display grid lines which could help you to read the graph easily. So run this program, you can see that grid lines have been displayed. Now you can easily see that, verify that this point is 2 2. X-axis value is 2 and y-axis value is 2. So grid lines can help you to read the graph easily. And say for example I want to give I want to allot the name of this red curve as red line, and I want to allot a name to this green curve as green line. So how to do it? Just place comma. So I want to give a name to this line. The name is red line, and or you can say for example line 1, and I want to give a name to this line, line 2. So run the program, let's see what happens. So line 1, line 2 has not been displayed because we have not written plot.legend. So plot.legend will display line 1 and line 2 on the plot. So you can see that line 1 is this blue color line, and line 1 is this line, and line 2 is this line colored in orange. Now if you want, you can change the color of this line 1, you can change the color of line 2, comma, say for example I want the color of line 1 to be red, and I want the color of line 2 to be green. So run the program, and you can see that this line is red and this line is green. ओके, सो अगर आप चाहें तो इन दो कर्व्स को, ये रेड कर्व और ग्रीन कर्व, दो अलग अलग विंडोज़ पे प्लॉट कर सकते हैं. वो कैसे? सो प्लॉट डॉट फिगर एंड प्लॉट डॉट प्लॉट, ये ठीक है. दिस विल प्लॉट दिस रेड लाइन इन वन फिगर. यहाँ फिर आपको लिखना पड़ेगा प्लॉट डॉट FIGURE. It means that you are instructing the computer to create another figure, or in other words another window, to plot this green line. So आप इसके लिए भी वही X लेबल Y लेबल सेलेक्ट करें, और इसके लिए भी वही X लेबल Y लेबल टाइटल ग्रिड्स लीजेंड्स वगैरह जो भी है सेलेक्ट करें. Now run this code and you'll see that two windows will be created. जिस एक में रेड लाइन प्लॉट हुई है और दूसरी फिगर में ग्रीन लाइन जो है वो प्लॉट हुई है. सो दिस इज द वे टू प्लॉट two curves in two different windows. Okay, say for example I want to plot a sine wave for the values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 of x. So x axis के ऊपर मेरे पास ये पॉइंट्स हैं. 0 को 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So for these values of x I want to plot a sine wave. So all of you know that sine wave looks something like this. So I expect this type of output to appear after running the code. So how to do this? One easy way is to define x first. जैसा कि पहले हमने x को यहाँ पे डिफाइन किया है, x इज इक्वल टू 1, फिर x इज इक्वल टू 2, x इज इक्वल टू 3, और फिर कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग y की वैल्यूज को हमने डिफाइन किया. Another easy way to define x is to write np.arange, and the values of x which I want are 0 to 5. So I will write 0 starting value to 5 ending value, and the difference between each value, the difference between 1 and 0, the difference between 2 and 1, 3 and 2, so the difference between each value each consecutive value is 1. So the difference will be mentioned at the end. So before running this program, I want to show you one thing, is that let's see what happens if I run this code. So clear, remove all the variables, and let's run this code. So after running this code, you can see that the values of x are 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 with difference of 1. The stopping value, which is 5, has not appeared or was not stored in x. So if you want to include 5, you have to write 6 over here. So long story short ये है कि in np.arrange में the first value is the start value, the second value is the stop value, but that will not be stored in the memory, and the third value is the difference between the values of x, between the consecutive values of x. So this is an easy way to create the domain of the function which you want to plot, instead of placing square brackets and manually typing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is a very efficient way to do it. Okay, next what I want to do is I want to find the sign of all the values of x. I want to find the sign of this, sign of this, sign of this. So how to do it? y1 is equal to, there is a function in numpy which is np.sign, and just simply write x. So what will happen is all the values of this x will be transferred over here, and the sign operation will be applied to each and every element of x. So sign operation will be applied to 0, sign operation will be applied to 1, similarly to 2, similarly to 3, similarly to 4. So element wise sign operation will be performed, and now if you want you can plot it, and let's see what happens. So these are the values of x-axis. So instead of writing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have already defined x over here, so simply just write x over here, and similarly just write y1 over here, and leave the rest of the things as they are. So close the previous plot, run this program, and okay, so run this program, and you can see that this is the plot which we have obtained. So let me verify this for you. So for x is equal to 0, for x is equal to 0 the value of sign is 0. For x is equal to 1, for x is equal to 1 the value of sign is somewhere around 0.8. For x is equal to 2 the value of sign is somewhere around 0.9. For x is equal to 3 the value of y, or the value of sign, is 0.1. You can see it over here. Similarly for x is equal to 4 the value of sign is 0.751. again you can verify from the values that are appearing over here, and so on. Now the problem is that the sine wave which I have obtained is not smooth. जिस तरह ये यहाँ पे smooth है ना, smooth, वो इस तरह का smooth नहीं आ रहा यहाँ पे, and this is because of the fact that you have used very few values of x. आपने सिर्फ x की 6 वैल्यूज़ यूज़ की हैं, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. जितनी कम वैल्यूज़ आप यूज़ करेंगे उतना ही आपका ग्राफ जो है वो रफ बनेगा, उसमें एजेस जो हैं वो ज़्यादा नज़र आएंगे आपको. सो फॉर मोर स्मूथनेस, ज़्यादा स्मूथ ग्राफ हासिल करने के लिए इंक्रीज द नंबर ऑफ पॉइंट्स ऑफ दिस डोमेन एक्स. So how to increase the number of points? Uh, Keep the range same from 0 to 5. Just just decrease the difference between each value of x. So now 0.1 will be the difference. Close the previous plot, run this again, and you can see that you have obtained a much smoother graph because of the fact that you have used larger number of x-axis values. So you can see that the number of integers of domain x is around 59, and the difference between each value of x is 0.1. तो आपने x की ये वैल्यूज यूज की हैं 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 up to 5.9. 6 will not be included. Okay, similarly, if I tell you to print the cosine of x for x equal to 0 to say 5. So what you can do is you can keep the domain of y2 the same as defined already over here. Just simply write y2. So y2 is equal to np dot cos of x, and I want to plot the cosine waveform in the same plot of the same figure. So no need to create a separate figure, just copy paste this and change y1 to y2. I don't want the markers to be displayed so that I could easily see the graph. I will change the label to say line 2, the color to say green. So close the previous plot and run this program, and you can see that this is sine wave. Line 1 is the sine wave, line 2 is the cosine wave. My requirement is that I want to convert this green solid line into a green dotted line और ग्रीन डैश लाइन. मैं चाहता हूँ कि ये जो ग्रीन सॉलिड लाइन आपको नज़र आ रही है ये सॉलिड शक्ल में नज़र ना आए बल्कि ये डैश लाइन की शक्ल में आपको नज़र आए. तो उसको करने का तरीका ये है कि आप लिखेंगे लाइन स्टाइल इज इक्वल टू डबल डैश. सो डबल डैश आप लिखेंगे, प्रोग्राम को रन करेंगे और आप देख सकते हैं कि ग्रीन लाइन का जो स्टाइल है वो सॉलिड से डैश की तरफ चला गया, जबकि रेड लाइन का जो लाइन स्टाइल है वो सॉलिड है. So by default, if you don't mention line style, the default line style that will be selected is solid line. So you can change the line style using this command dash dash. So और भी बहुत सारे options मौजूद हैं आपके पास. If you want, you can write dash dot. So dash dot करने से क्या होगा, ये डैश डॉट की शक्ल में ग्रीन लाइन जो है वो अपीयर होगी. सिमिलरली अगर आपके पास एक और ऑप्शन है वो ये है कि आप कॉलन लगा सकते हैं यहाँ पे. सो कॉलन लगाने से ये डॉट्स जो है वो अपीयर होंगे यहाँ पे. सो यू कैन प्ले विद द लाइन स्टाइल. Okay, now my requirement is that I want to print this green curve and red curve side by side in two different plots of the same figure. So मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि रेड कर्व और ग्रीन कर्व एक ही विंडो में साइड बाय साइड जो है वो प्लॉट हो जाए. So how to do it? First of all, you will create a figure, and after creating a figure आप एक स्पेस एलोकेट करेंगे रेड कर्व के लिए और एक और स्पेस एलोकेट करेंगे ग्रीन कर्व के लिए. So red curve will be plotted in this box, whereas green curve will be printed in this box. Now matplotlib will assign number 1 to this box and number 2 to this box. So this is box number 1 and this is box number 2. Now you can visualize this as these two boxes are present in row number 1. Specifically, box number 1 is present at row 1 column 1, whereas box number 2 is present at row 1 and column 2. Now in order to create this figure and these two purple boxes, what you will do in Python, you will write plot.figure to create this big box which is called figure, as we have seen before. And in order to create these two boxes, you will write plot.subplot. So if you look here, you can see that in this figure there is one row and two columns. So you have to specify the number of rows and columns first. So one row and two columns. So your figure will contain one row and two columns of your plots. It will allocate one row and two columns for your graph to be plotted. So it will create two boxes in a single row and in two columns. Next, what I want to do is I want to plot this red curve in this empty box number 1. So the name or the number of this box is 1. I have to specify this number over here. So 1, 2, 1 has been specified. Next, I will plot the red line using this command. Clear? So let's run this code and check. And you can see that the red line has been printed in this box number 1. So this is box number 1. Box number 2 is still empty because we have not plotted anything yet, or we have not given any command yet. So जब तक हम command नहीं देंगे तब तक यहाँ box number 2 पे कुछ भी plot नहीं होगा. ठीक है? So space has been allocated, but since we have not plotted anything, हमने कुछ plot ही नहीं किया, so this will appear as empty space. So close this figure and let's try to plot the green line. Let's try to plot the green line. So green line को plot करने के लिए हम क्या command देंगे? हम कहेंगे कंप्यूटर को कि plot subplot 1,2, यानी उसी फिगर में जिसमें एक रो है और दो कॉलम है, बॉक्स नंबर 2 के अंदर. ठीक है? सो बॉक्स नंबर 2 के अंदर ग्रीन कर्व को प्लॉट करें. सो बॉक्स नंबर 2 के अंदर ये जो ग्रीन कर्व है इसको आपने प्लॉट करना. सो रन द प्रोग्राम एंड यू कैन सी दैट both the curves are displayed side by side in the same figure. एक ही विंडो में दो कर्व साइड बाय साइड लेकिन अलग प्लॉट हुए हैं. तो आप देख सकते हैं कि रेड कर्व का अपनी एक्स एक्सिस की वैल्यूज़ हैं और अपनी वाई एक्सिस की वैल्यूज़ हैं. इसी तरह ग्रीन कर्व की अपनी एक्स एक्सिस की वैल्यूज़ हैं, वाई एक्सिस की वैल्यूज़ हैं. सिमिलरली if you want you can label them separately as well. वो कैसे? आप यहाँ पे लिखें से x label is equal to say red x axis for the red line. Similarly y label is equal to red y-axis, I guess, which tells us that this is the y-axis for the red line. Similarly, you can write okay, so similarly you can write title is equal to red curve. So let's run the program and check. So red curve, इस रेड कर्व की अपनी टाइटल है, अपने वाई एक्सिस लेबल है और अपना रेड एक्सिस लेबल रेड एक्स एक्सिस की लेबल है. So similar thing can be repeated for the green curve. So green curve के लिए आप यहाँ पे ग्रीन कर दें, ग्रीन. इसी तरह आप यहाँ पे इसको ग्रीन कर दें. इसी तरह एक्स लेबल इज इक्वल टू green x-axis. So run the code and you can see that red curve का अपना ये सारा प्लॉट है, प्रॉपर्ली लेबल्ड प्लॉट, और ग्रीन कर्व का अपना प्रॉपर्ली लेबल्ड प्लॉट है. Properly labeled plot means it has its own x-axis label, it has its own y-axis label, it has its own title and so on. Now if you want you can give a special name or one single name to these two plots. उसके लिए आपको करना पड़ेगा plot.suptitle. I guess sup means super title. I don't really know about that, so you can write a line. So this will be the single title for both of these subplots. तो इसको रन करें तो आप देख सकते हैं कि एक टाइटल है दोनों सब प्लॉट्स के लिए. दोनों सब प्लॉट्स का अपना एक टाइटल हो सकता है, इसकी अपनी एक टाइटल हो सकती है, और दोनों सब प्लॉट्स का एक सिंगल टाइटल भी हो सकती है यूजिंग SUPTITLE. Okay, how to code so that the red curve and green curve are plotted separately but on top of each other. So you will create a single figure and you will create two boxes on top of each other. So this will be box number 1 and this will be box number 2, and the red curve should be printed in this box 1, जबकि ग्रीन कर्व जो है वो बॉक्स नंबर 2 में प्रिंट होनी चाहिए. So how to visualize this? We can visualize this as two rows, row 1, row 2 and single column, column number 1. So what we will do here is that you will write two rows, one column, similarly two rows and one column, and you want to print this red line in box number 1. You want to print the red line in box number 1. So you will write 1 over here, and since you want to print green line in box number 2, you will write 2 over here. You can if you want you can print the red line in box number 2. Similarly, if you want you can print the green line in box number 1. So by changing this third index you can change the position of your plot. So run the program, close the previous plot, and you can see that both the curve have been printed on top of each other. So there is some overlapping over here. You can adjust this overlapping, but that is beyond the scope of this course. Okay, now what you can do is, if you require to see the value of x and y at any point, you can do it, or you can view the point easily by using MPL cursor. So what you have to do is you have to write import MPL cursors as MP and write mp dot cursor, MPL cursor, mp dot cursor. So run this program and click anywhere on the curve. Say let me click on this red curve at this point. So this point is x is equal to 2.14 and y is equal to 2.14. Similarly, say for example, if I click over here right on the green curve, so the value of x is 1.755 and the corresponding y value is 2.245. In order to import MPL cursor library, or in order to use that library, you have to go to this website and copy paste this command, pip install MPL cursor. So copy it, then go to anaconda prompt shell, anaconda prompt, and paste the command over here and just press enter.